Kiss Horseshoe Wagon! Wow!
Podcast Rock City.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City, and with me this week is Mr. Jody Havnot.
What's up, guys?
Mr. Sonny Hollywood Pooney.
What's up, people?
Joey Casada. Oh, you're over there. Over here. I don't know. If I point in the wrong direction, when the video comes out, it like flips shit. So, and then people are like, he pointing the wrong direction. And everybody down in the corner there, that is Mr. Andrew Kiss.
It's been a while, Joe, and I want to say that these pretzels are still, in fact, making me thirsty.
Thank you very much for throwing the movie line out. What one is that from?
It's
It's a Seinfeld thing. He doesn't
Seinfeld.
know any Seinfeld. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Joe, come on.
I'm
These
sorry.
pretzels are making me thirsty.
Okay,
These
Joey.
pretzels are making
me
thirsty.
I'm so bad about this. Okay, so Joey, you're a Seinfeld fan?
Big time, absolutely.
Oh, man,
You don't like Seinfeld?
I've never watched it.
Okay.
What's the deal with that, Joe?
That got weird quick. Really? You've never seen Seinfeld ever?
Okay, I'll tell you this.
You've done 300 episodes of a KISS podcast, and you've never seen an episode of Seinfeld.
Okay, so I have seen maybe 2 episodes, okay? I saw one where the golf ball goes into the whale.
Classic.
That's a great one.
Now, is
Only
that...
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man said, it's soup back at the deli.
Yeah.
And everybody looks at each other going,
big
what the
fella.
Okay, now I saw another one where, now it may be the same episode, I don't know, but it involved Kramer stealing lobsters.
That's a different
Oh,
one.
that's a different
one.
episode.
A different one?
Another
It's a great
classic.
The
one.
Hamptons.
Okay, but is
I
that the
was in the
shrinkage
pool.
one?
I was in the
Yes.
pool.
Okay, yeah.
Shrinkage one, yeah.
So you see, I've seen 2 episodes. All right, how about this? I promise that by the time we get together again, I'll have watched 5 episodes.
Deal.
Wow.
Nice.
And
Fair
I'll
enough.
write down what they are, and then we can have a little side thing on the side about what. Okay.
Well,
Thank you,
Jody and I
guys.
wanted to do a Seinfeld podcast a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
so we should start that up.
Totally.
Yes, it's totally in the realm of Seinfeld that it didn't happen. I believe. Just saying. Thank you guys for tuning in today. The reason why we're all here is because this is our 300th episode of Podcast Rock City, and I wanted everybody to be involved that we could. I did message D-Rock. He never got back to me. We all know that D-Rock has some health issues. Hopefully he's okay. Brent was going to be here, but they're having some troubles because of the hurricane down in Texas. So we got the 5 of us, and this is still awesome. I do appreciate you guys. Before we get started, I want you to know, all of you, Joey's been here just a few months. I could not have done this show without all of you. Every week, I fake doing this show. And you guys are really like the base, and I'm the guy that comes in and goes, look what I did. Sprinkle some stuff on top. It's beautiful, isn't it? But I'm not stupid, okay? I'm not stupid, and I don't have any delusions. I know what's going on. I'm the host. You guys are the show, and I mean that, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys do this with me every week. And like I said, you guys are super important. So I love y'all.
You need to right in the fields, Joe.
I just
Love
have
you too, buddy.
Group hug,
Thank you.
dude.
I did, absolutely. I really need my final dream with this show is somehow hanging out with Andrew Kiss. I've
We
now
got to make it happen,
I have
buddy.
hung out with everybody. Vegas with Sonny, New York with Joey, St. Louis with Jody. I've been all over the place with Brent. I jammed in D-Rock's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last person is we got to get Andrew in here. And so one
Have
day
to
he's going
fly
to get
on down.
married. He's going to get married one day, and I'm going to be like, I'm crashing.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're always
anyway,
welcome.
Absolutely. Okay, so this week there's a little bit of Kiss news. I wanted to discuss that, and then the topic of the week we'll get to. But right now, let's get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
Have you read the news?
So on my trusty phone here, I was on Facebook and I saw a few things, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because this is the 300th show, and even though we've talked about this before, something new happened, and maybe you guys saw it. Michael Sweet and Sebastian Bach apparently went at Eddie Trunk.
Ooh, I don't know this. You got to tell me this.
Because Eddie Trunk apparently, I guess, still won't go see a Kiss show because Tommy and Eric and basically Sebastian publicly was like, I'll read it. All right, how about that? I'll read it. You guys tell me what you think. It says, how do you know what would be amazingly sad? Okay, well, Eddie Trunk, he wrote something here. This is important.
You would think after 300 episodes, this would go pretty smooth.
Well, here's the thing. All right, so I got a lot on my mind, but I'm gonna get this right. Okay, so Eddie Trunk wrote. There was like something that he read, and he said that would be amazingly sad if nobody cared. AC/DC played with someone else in the schoolboy outfit, basically. So, like, if there was like Jody Havnot on stage dressed like the schoolboy,
fitting into that thing, dude.
Yeah, rolling around on the ground. So Sebastian Bach said, "How do you know what would be amazingly sad or not?" He wrote, Axl Rose was the lead singer on the last AC/DC tour and did a great job. What is amazingly sad is someone willing to calling themselves a Kiss fan, but not bothering to go see the last ever Kiss tour, then call the people who did sad. All right, I fucked that all up earlier. I'm sorry. I'm not deleting shit because it is perfect for what I meant earlier.
What did Michael Sweet say?
So Michael Sweet was in a different thing. Online there was a headline, and it basically he came to the defense just like Sebastian did. So this is old. Eddie Trunk has loyalty to two guys. Am I wrong in that? You know him, don't you, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's about loyalty. Of course, he's very good friends with Ace and Peter, but I don't think it's that. I really don't. I don't think it's because he's close with Ace and Peter and he's been on the outs with Paul, the last dozen years or so. I think he's really voicing his opinion. I really think it's not about replacement players. And in a weird way, I agree with him. I kind of see both sides. It's not about replacement players. It's about them really trying to pull off the heist of showing these two guys to the general public, not us. We know who they are. We know they're Tommy. We know they're Eric, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of fan base, maybe a big chunk of today's fan base, that doesn't realize that it's two different guys. And I understand that that's what they're trying to do. Of course, and is the question is it wrong or is it right? They're trying to just show where these four faces, it doesn't matter who it is. And Eddie Trunk is saying, yes, it does matter. These two guys did so much for the band. He thinks the fans should remember that it's not Ace and Peter up there, and give these new guys their own credit, that they're these own brand new guys. I can see both sides of the argument. I really can.
Okay, I agree. However, it's not like they're on stage and Paul Stanley's not going, Ace Frehley, lead guitar.
No, but dude, trust me, even when I think I told this story before, when I was on the road with them, and that was the first tour with Tommy and Eric. And I had so many of my friends that I grew up with along the road, along the tour, that came to see me. And I would say 90% of them told me, wow, how does it feel being up there with Ace and Peter and Paul and Gene? And they watched, this was after the show. They had no clue. They're not Kiss fans anymore. They know Kiss, but they weren't big Kiss fans anymore. They had no idea that it was two different guys. No clue.
All right. Listen, go ahead, Jody.
I mean, like, even like during solos, like they'll be like, take it, Tommy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I don't think they're trying to hide it, but the general public that goes to a Kiss show doesn't even give a fuck. You know what I mean? They don't care.
Yeah.
It's just people like us that get all bent out of shape about Ace and Peter. You know?
But I think
still
that's what. I'm sorry, Sonny. Go ahead.
I still understand what the big deal is, honestly. As long as you don't call them Ace and Peter, who cares, right? Like Jody really got me into Masked Intruder, right? So they're just color guys with masks on. And because they have masks on, you wouldn't really know, I guess, unless blue or green got changed, you wouldn't really know who's there, right?
Yeah. Right now they got purple,
some mannerisms. Oh, they got purple. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So mannerisms change a bit, but so what? It's because I get it. Ace made the makeup iconic. So I get it, right? But I'm with Jody is the normal public that aren't Kiss freaks like we are, they don't know. They don't care anyway. Who cares? Like if you went up and told them, that's really Tommy and Eric, you should go get your money back. They'd probably say, why? It was a good show. Why would I want my money back?
Exactly.
And
Right?
Andrew.
Well, I can see where he's coming from because he grew up with the band and he was a 70s Kiss fan. But I feel like the majority of people going to see him now are from a younger generation who've heard of the mythos of Kiss, but like weren't jacked into the fan base growing up. So they're just more about the entity. Oh, that's Kiss. That's not Gene and Paul to a degree. Like obviously with Family Jewels, they know who Gene is, but it's not like just sorry, I'm just trying to phrase it. It's not like oh yeah, that's not the original guys. As Sonny was saying, I want my money back. It's just it's Kiss. That's a great show. Like, can the majority of the public name any other members besides Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of the Stones? No, but they went to see the Stones.
But
or
I
AC/DC
think,
too.
I think that's what it's almost what Eddie's trying to say. The general public doesn't know and they don't care. You're right. But Eddie's trying to say that's the point. Your history is so rich. There should be a differential between those guys in the 70s that did all those magical things and released solo albums and played on Alive 1 and Alive 2. There should be a significant difference if there's band members that changed over the years. And the public should know, if you did love Alive, it's Ace and Peter. But if you love Monster, it's Tommy and Eric. He's just trying to say, not that it's bad that Tommy and Eric are in the band. I think he's just trying to say the people that don't know the difference is the problem. It's because they're not being told there were these other two guys that were important to the band.
Yeah.
We've been doing this long enough and around long enough that we have met people from the entire spectrum of this deal, right? The entire spectrum of this, where sometimes I look at, okay, so I can tell you, and I'm sure I speak for everyone here, that I could go see a Kiss show. No, how about this? I can't speak for Sonny. I'm sure I can, because Sonny is just like on a completely different level. But it does bother me when Tommy plays Shock Me. I don't know why. It's stupid that it does bother me. Maybe because I look at that as like Ace's signature thing. However, it probably would bother me if Ace was on stage and he did like Out of This World.
Deuce, like he's doing it,
And Love Gun and
or Love Gun, like he's doing it live now.
No,
How do you feel about Eric doing Beth?
I hate it. Well, I hate
it,
Beth.
I just don't like Beth to begin with. So
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, it was the greatest song in the world. It helped Mom let Joey listen to Kiss, you know. But
Here's the other interesting thing. What we have today is literally the best case scenario of the situation because Tommy and Eric are good guys. If they were assholes, this situation would be so much worse. Can
Of
you
course.
believe this is the best the situation can be?
yeah,
And again, I
Can't be
think
any nicer.
But I think it even takes away from Tommy and Eric a little bit. Let them be their own guys. I know that, Paul always says Frog Boy and Goat Man or whatever the hell he tries to make fun of the makeup. Eric Carr and Vinnie Vincent didn't work that well because of Kiss. Kiss was dead. It had nothing to do with their new characters. Their new characters, to me, were fun. I don't see, there's no reason why Tommy and Eric, it's been almost 20 years, guys. Think about it. If they would have had their own characters in 2001, I guess, when Eric Singer came back, right? And they gave him his own character. That would have been 20 years already. He would have had his own fan base now. Instead of the Kiss fan base split and half of them thinking it's Peter, half of them resenting him because he's wearing Peter's makeup, he would have his own fan base now.
yeah, but
Well,
you
you're
have to look
stuck
at
now.
it as a like just in hindsight being, yeah, that would have been great, but they would have made a lot less money, I feel, because they're selling the past. They're selling almost a fantasy of Kiss. If they have these new characters, I feel like that would hinder their sales, and
You
that's
think
what
so?
it comes down to. I think.
Or a
definitely think
marketing person could say it would increase sales because now they can sell more merch with more characters on it, right?
Yeah, but it didn't happen in the 80s. I know, but look at the 80s, like that. And
Yeah, but that was a different. I mean,
the early 80s, just with the new characters, that didn't save them either.
do you think Kiss's
I don't know,
popularity
that's what
would
I
have
think.
would have
I
went?
see what you're saying.
Do you think Kiss's popularity would have went down around 2004 if Tommy and Eric were new characters?
I think so.
Really?
Well, I mean, Kiss has been selling Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over on everything for like 30 years, right? That's what people know. People know those 4 makeup designs. People don't. I mean, I didn't like the Vinnie Vincent thing. Eric Carr was cool, but like Vinnie Vincent to me looked fucking stupid. It's like you got to have those 4 iconic characters to me. But I know.
But I
Sorry,
mean,
Joey was going a bit.
What's that?
oh, is the internet killing you?
Me?
No,
No,
Andrew.
me.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was saying Joey was sounding a T-Painy
Oh
there, and
shit.
I think it
Oh, we're
was just
losing Andrew.
Uh,
He's getting all T-Pain.
I warned you.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
but what I
it's
was
a-
going to say is it's too late now anyway. Like, you can't fix it now. Joey,
No,
you're right. If you
I
were going to
agree,
fix
dude.
it,
I
you had
agree.
to have fixed it 20 years ago, right?
Yes.
Would they have been less popular? I'm kind of with Jody on that. They would probably sell less merchandise. It would be weird to sell the 4 iconic faces, and then you would have to sell a new breed of faces. And even though I'm a completist, I don't know if I need all that new stuff. I'd probably still want old stuff because I was kind of used to the old, right? I don't know if I would buy all the new, like, did you buy all the Spencer stuff and all the stuff that's out right now? I'm hit and miss. It depends on what it is. And it's got the 4 iconic faces on it.
Yeah,
Touring
but let me
wise,
ask, do you buy anything, the 4 iconic faces, I understand, but honest question, I can't see from the merch behind you.
Yeah.
Do you buy anything with the Catman and Spaceman with Tommy and Eric on it?
yeah. I got some stuff Eric signed. I got a Tommy picture that's signed because to me it's a part of history that's in the room, right? But I got Vinny stuff. I got Eric stuff too.
Right.
But I definitely don't have nearly as much. I don't know though, Joey. I do agree with you. I don't know if their attendance would be any different.
Right.
I think there would be a marketing hit possibly on you can't sell iconic stuff because the iconic guys aren't really there anymore. So that's kind of weird. But I don't know if their attendance
it
would
would
be
have been a bigger risk. I do think that.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a bigger risk to take, especially when Paul refers back to that it didn't work the first time. to try that around 2003 with the both of them, or even just when Eric came back. I do think it would have been a bigger risk. But I think in the long run, if they did that, I think we would have a more united Kiss fan base right now. Not that it matters. I mean, I could care less. I actually like the conflict, but it's, you know what I mean? It's
Makes things interesting.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, I love Tommy and Eric. I love it. I just do think that it glosses over the contributions that Ace and Peter gave by having these guys really impersonate them. It glosses, it hurts their legacy a little bit. It doesn't hurt Kiss's legacy, but it hurts Ace and Peter. And I think that's maybe what Eddie Trunk doesn't like.
Yeah. Being in retail and selling a brand, I'm always putting myself, like, trying to put myself in the room, right? Because every day we make decisions at work that it's like, okay, we make that decision, like, we can't unmake it. So is that going to work or is that not going to work, right? So I wonder if there was a time where, Gene and Paul are sitting down going, all right, risk averse means go icons, and we just take the beating about these guys are going to be fake Ace and cheater Chris or whatever you want to call them, right?
Replace Ace.
Yeah, or whatever.
Replace Fraley is what they call them.
Or we go with new characters, but once we go down that road, we're not going to be able to undo it. Whatever decision we make right now, we're going to have to live with it because we're not going to be able to go back, right? So then it's like, well, why would you take risk, guys? Like, you guys talking about major money here. Don't screw this up.
Yeah. But you still have to understand, like, here's a funny story. So when I was in my Kiss tribute band, Kiss Nation, we played a Kiss convention in Puerto Rico with Eric Singer. And this was, what year was this? This was 2002 or 3. So it was right after Eric came back with the Catman makeup, did the Japan tour, did all that stuff. But then if you remember, Peter came back for the symphony in Melbourne and all that stuff. So Eric, during this time period, was out of Kiss because Peter had just been taken back. And let me tell you something, Eric was not a happy person. He voiced his opinion on Gene and Paul, and he was talking about how they brought Peter back and blah, blah, blah. How could they do this to him when they know Peter can't play anymore, blah, blah, blah. So, Eric understood the side. When it happened to him, Eric understood. So, when it happens to Peter, who created that character, think about how Peter feels. I know the whole argument of he sold his makeup, which is, I agree, it's ridiculous. But you got to understand that it hurts either way, and Eric went through it.
I'm wondering, what Sonny was saying was true. No matter what direction they would have went in, it was a big, huge risk. I'm wondering if they. There's no way they don't care that they have fans that are upset about it. There's no way they don't care. If Paul and Gene are, but they may be over it by now. Going, hey,
it's been long enough.
Yeah, it's been how many years now? So it could just be at that point where they're just basically all right. So listen, we have talked this into the ground. If we do 300 more shows, I don't really ever have to talk about this again. I don't know if we could do 3. We can't. But you catch my drift on that. We pretty much all into the same boat. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And I like some of it and I dislike other parts and it's not all perfect all the time. I could drive down the road and listen to The Elder. Sonny chucks him out on Boulevard and out the window.
It's like this show. It's so great. Like Joe, I listened to all 300 episodes. Joe and Jody have always been great. And then you have Sonny.
But no, I was going to say I'm in San Francisco, so I was here when Montana got traded to the Chiefs.
Wow.
And oh my God, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. And how could we trade Montana and who else are we going to do it to? And the organization has no clue what they're doing. I'm not even a 49er fan. I could give two shits, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. And then Steve Young won the Super Bowl, and you never heard Montana's name again.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, I do want to point out that we just had Peter Criss on the show. There he is.
He's being such a
Oh.
douche, dude.
Oh, Peter.
He's
I
will
heard
not
him-
leave me alone, man.
Did he just hiss at you?
No, I tossed him, and he kind of doesn't like that.
he heard us talking. He heard us talking about Eric Singer. That's why.
Right? Yeah.
Jody, all you had to do was say, I tossed him and he turned. Did you get it?
Oh,
Oh.
that would have been
Come
nice.
on.
Kissed opportunity.
Hooked on Farina.
See? Man, this is epic right here. I'm just saying. I hope you guys out there listening and watching are enjoying this. One of the things that before we get to the topic of the week is I wanted to say was next week we're going to be out because of Labor Day. And where I'm going to be, there is no internet. So, or there is, but come on, it's so hard to do this. So in 2 weeks, we will be back. And we're going to try something a little new. I got a friend, his name is Christian, and he does I have one. Christian, I've told you guys about Christian before. I met him standing in line to meet the Green Power Ranger, and he was a big Power Rangers fan, and I told him, I was listening to him and his buddy talk, and I told him that he should start a show, and he is buck-ass wild podcasting now. And when it comes to the Power Rangers, he's one of the top podcasters. He's been on panels with them. I know that you don't care about it's kind of the same thing when you think about it, because they're a team and they got different colors. And if the wrong guy's wearing the green outfit, oh shit! I'm just saying. I'm kidding. But anyway, so we are going to be live every Sunday. We're going to do the show live on YouTube. So if you can. And there will be a way to a little bar on the side where you'll be able to chat with us or give us your opinion live during the show. That is going when we're hooking up and getting together and carrying on a conversation, your opinion will be real time. You'll say something, we'll be able to address it. And I think that's going to be next level for Podcast Rock City and podcasts. There are people that already do this kind of thing, but we don't. So it's going to be fun, and we're going to get it all put together. So 2 weeks, we'll make sure that we let everybody know what time, where to find it. Go and friend us or follow us on our Facebook group page. And so you can get all the info about how to watch it live and chat with us and everything else. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. I just want to try and see what happens because I have no idea.
Just the fan interaction alone is going to make it so much fun, guys. Trust
Yes, and it might take a few weeks for people to get into it, but hopefully they will. You guys out there, let's do this. It'll be fun. Well, with that, all that being done now, the news is aside. My little announcements are aside. Let's get to the topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City. Topic of the week.
So 300 shows, and every week we talk about a specific little thing that has to do with KISS. And I thought that I was really hoping Brent could be here and D-Rock, and obviously they can't because of things going on, but I think it would be great for all of us, since we've never been on screen with Andrew, to let's just talk about our favorite band. Instead of picking specific things, let's start at the beginning, and we don't have to get all the way to the end, but we've already talked about the end, actually, haven't we? The beginning, I think, and the middle is, pretty fun. And the thing that so many people are our age, Andrew's different. Andrew, how old are you now? 25? I lost him. He froze. How old are you?
27.
20.
I can write it down to 27.
27.
Damn, Andrew.
Remember when he turned
I remember
21?
when you were like a
Like a 50-year-old.
teenager, dude. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I'm like talking like this.
Andrew, you
Now he's
never
a
talk
man,
like that.
dude.
He is a
Full
man.
grown.
Anyway,
Wow,
okay,
I
so
swear
More
never
train
talk like
stations,
that.
huh?
getting
Oh shit! Yeah, no more train stations.
Yeah,
that is
Now I have my
really
own car, so I don't need that.
right. Totally.
So anyway,
No more cigars.
Giving birth to cigars.
you know
Yeah,
what I
no
want?
more at the
Yeah.
bus stop.
You guys, this is really starting to get only people that have
Old
been
school.
listening. Old, yeah.
Yeah, it's back in the day.
Okay, so I feel like I know I've watched this show, and you guys are now the Seinfeld haters. And Joey, you guys listen to the shows, but you don't remember all this stuff. So one of the things that I want to talk about with everybody was how much luck was involved and how much of it was genius. Like, if I had to bet, first of all, I would say 70-30. 70% luck, 30% genius. How off am I? Joey, you're first.
Well, what's the old saying? Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, right?
Right.
You hear that? So I think there's no such thing as luck. I really do. I think no luck was involved. I think it's preparation met opportunity. I think those guys went over and above everyone else at the time. They weren't going to stop until they made themselves the biggest band in the world. You know, we've heard the same interview they give, 5 million times where they say, we wanted to be the band that we never saw on stage before. We've heard that interview 100 times, but it's true. They went and they took chances, and they picture them in makeup, walking the streets or in a club getting laughed at. They took crazy chances. It looks so normal to us now because we love them so much, but think about those guys in 1973 walking into the Daisy or walking into one of these shithole clubs and getting laughed at. And I'm sure they did. And they got, ridiculed while they're on the road, in these southern towns and stuff. They took a big chance and they believed in something that they were doing, and they went all the way with it. And it just turned out, it happened to be that that Bill Aucoin took them under their wing too. I think none of it happens without Kiss, and none of it happens without Bill Aucoin and Sean Delaney. So I think all of them together built this thing that was undeniable, and they prepared, and they went out and they found opportunity.
Well, now that Joey ruined the show by having a logical answer, I guess
And being completely wrong, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Whoa, of course, Pooney. Pooney, tell us what you think.
100% luck. 100% luck. There is work ethic involved, no doubt. There is timing involved, no doubt. There is zero genius involved. That is all luck. You have to be lucky to survive a blue thong, a Knights and Satan's Service, a shitty but classic movie, Golden Girls makeup. That is all luck and a lot of survival, and the work ethic gets you through it. I think if you don't have the luck, Paul and Gene end up being somebody because of the work ethic they got. I don't know if any of this stuff can be called creative. Man, I got a hard time calling it genius when I think of other genius things in the world.
Okay, so now, being fair, Paul Stanley says something to the effect, and we've all heard this a million times too. It's like you can't call it genius for a guy walking along and tripping and falling into the pot of gold.
That's called luck.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
dictionary
but
definition.
Sonny, just out of curiosity, what was luck, you think? Getting a record deal? What was the luck part? What do you think?
The luck has to do a lot with the timing piece. I think there's a lot of people, and we've heard of them in history, that have tons of work ethic and never end up anywhere, have tons of talent and don't win the championship in sports, or all of those things. There is some timing involved, and timing has a lot to do with luck.
Of course. Well,
My whole life is that. That's
Yeah,
why
Dan
I'm
Marino.
But again, you're right. But I think the definition of luck is almost what we're arguing here. It's not what
Yeah.
happened. If
Yeah.
they're not in those clubs when, Bill Aucoin sees them the first time in makeup and doing that stuff. Then none of this happens, right? So was it lucky that Bill Aucoin was there that night and they were on stage? No, I think it was they were going to play anywhere they could possibly play, and someone was going to see them eventually and do something, get them going. And I think it just so happened to be that it was Bill Aucoin that night. I don't think they would have ever gone anywhere. Like, you talk about all these people with all this talent and so on. So a lot of these people don't go out and bang down these doors and put themselves in front of people. So that creates opportunity. So yeah, I mean, I think it's more the definition of luck we're talking about. Yeah, of course, everything is timing. You have to be in the right place at the right time, delivering the right product. Of course.
And we do have to remember that Bill Aucoin was in that crowd because Gene sent him invitation. Right. So that's the other side of it. Jody, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what Joey was saying. It just depends, like, what you think of as luck. But I mean, it's kind of lucky that Bill was with Sean. If he wasn't with Sean, would we have the fire and the blood and all that shit? Probably not. Good. Would you have the deuce moves? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, is that luck? I don't know. But I mean, it just all came together in the perfect way. And I guess it's either luck or just fate, maybe. Like fate. That's what I like to call it. I don't know.
Andrew, what do you think? Is Andrew there?
Andrew, you frozen?
Perfect froze face, too. Look at that face.
Yeah, it looks. What does he look like, Jody?
What's that?
What does he look like right there?
He looks like he's sleeping.
He looks like he's
out
cold.
Joe, if you would have said, is it work ethic or luck? Then I would have said 95-5.
Uh-huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there's a definition of luck there, Joey. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
But I think it's a lot. It's the work ethic meter is way heavy versus a genius meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's ever, obviously, I don't think genius was ever brought up. I agree. I'm with you on that.
Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I agree with Joey that.
Well, then you're wrong. So hang up.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start calling you the adversary. But no, I just feel like you can. I don't think luck is sort of what ignited it, but all the gunpowder was all that preparation. Without that tenacity that Gene and Paul had of saying, we're gonna be the biggest band that ever existed. Without that drive, without sinking their teeth and being relentless like they were, you got nothing. You can be just. I felt like it was a lot more to do with preparation as well. They saw the opportunity, that was the luck, but I think it was the majority. It was the preparation. And okay, we got this plan now. Okay, how are we going to use these people to our advantage? How they got some great ideas. Okay, they're going to make us even bigger and bigger. And then, so they still had that initial drive. It's not because there's a lot less hardworking bands that you don't hear about as much. You just needed that drive in them that they had, that yes, we're going to be the biggest band. And I think the majority of that was preparation, because that's what skyrocketed them to the successful act that they were. They knew they wanted to be big. So I think it's almost like 80 within preparation and 20 with luck. Because Lemmy said that too. You can be hardworking, you can be driven, but it also has to do with right place and the right time.
Working smart is more important than working hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Do you think it's lucky that Kiss was in New York City? I mean, if Kiss was in like fucking Cleveland or something, would they have even had the chance to meet a Bill Aucoin? Would they even have a scene to play in? Because
that's the thing. Why are all these people from Iowa and stuff coming down to LA and just, all these like people are flocking to these havens, just these just this metropolis. I think that also had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, music's a lot different than athletes, right? Because there's teams out there looking for the next big athlete, so they're out there looking everywhere. Where music, they have to go find a place to be at. So
in Hollywood, I guess too.
Yeah. Poison,
LA or New York.
Yeah, Poison never makes it in New York. That's why they went to LA. right?
Yeah,
That's why
but
he started in LA.
again, but again, was it lucky? No, they went there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they knew this is where I have to do this.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm sorry,
I
go
mean,
ahead, Joe.
is it lucky that Kiss was in New York? Because if they were in Cleveland, would they even have been inspired by a band like the Dolls? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So maybe it was lucky that they lived where they lived, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah, I think living where they lived, made them grow up to be what they wanted to be, meaning seeing the Dolls and seeing all this
Yeah.
other influence. I do think New York played the part in giving them the inspiration to do what they did. Yes.
Totally. Was
A
that
sto-
luck? I don't know.
A story I always tell again with my own band with ZO2, we got our show Z-Rock, and the way we Z-Rock was we were a kids band by day and a rock band by night, really in real life. And we were playing a kid's birthday party one day, and it just so happens that an agent from one of the biggest agencies in the country was there, from William Morris, at this kid's birthday party. And he approached us like, what do you guys, this is crazy. You guys look like a rock band. Why are you playing, kids music? We're like, oh, well, we are really a rock band. You should come and see us. We're at BB King's tonight. And sure enough, the guy came down to see us at BB King's. And, from there, it went into this TV show, Z-Rock. He's like, we got to do something with you guys. It's too good to be true. It's this Clark Kent Superman thing. So I always reference that back to almost like Kiss, because was it lucky that this guy was at this party, or was it us seizing the opportunity because we were playing hundreds of birthday parties a year, and this guy was at one of them? Yeah, but if we didn't play hundreds of birthday parties breaking our ass, we wouldn't have met this guy. Yeah, this guy happened to be there, but so was it luck that he was there, or was it we were prepared once the opportunity of him being there presented itself? Because if he was there and liked us and we didn't have a rock show later that night or later a day later, the worlds wouldn't have met and we wouldn't have got our own TV show. So it's timing, but you have to be ready to seize that moment when the opportunity presents itself. And Kiss did that.
Amen.
Amen. All right. So you guys can send us, this is going to get really confusing right now. You guys can send us your opinion at podcast Rock City 1.
That's the
That's
number
the
one.
number one.
See, at Gmail.
String.com.
At gstring.com. Thank you. At gmail.com. Podcast Rock City 1. That's the number one at gmail.com. Send us your opinion. Tell us. This is what we want. Give us your percentage. 20, 80, 70, 30, 10, 75, 12, 8. I don't know. But whatever you guys say, well, it was 10% this and 50% this and, 40% this. I'm trying to make sure that my percentages come out right, or Mr. Pooney will give me shit. There he is, see? I'm not stupid.
I'd rather a poll just saying, do you guys agree with Jody, Andrew, Joe, and Joe, or Sonny?
And you can do that too. Okay, so that's all. That's a great starter. Where they started. How important do you think it was for them to put out as many records up front as they did? Had anybody ever done that before? First record, second record, third record, Alive, boom, all within just like how many months between the
6
first
months
record?
apart.
Did
I think
anybody
it
ever
helps.
do that before?
Wasn't it kind of common in the 70s to do it like that? I think it was.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it was in rock. It was
Yeah.
in other avenues.
Yeah, but Bogart with his bubblegum, like Kama Sutra, it was like every month there was a new record out. You know what I mean? So I think that was kind of helping them a lot too. Keep your,
Yeah,
like,
I think they were full kind. Listen, obviously it made them who they are today, but they were forced to do that. They were a record didn't sell, so they had no support from the label anymore. The label said, if you want another advance, and you got to give us another record to keep yourselves on tour.
Yeah.
And that carried on really throughout the 80s too. Even the 80s, when they were on that strict one album a year schedule, that wasn't because every album was good and they wanted to pump out another album. That was their only income. They weren't making money on touring up until probably Asylum, End of Animalized Asylum. So they would have to pump out records to get advance money to keep themselves afloat.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, that's the side of the business that I wouldn't know anything about, but like, you guys know about. The so let's talk about the first three records. The people, we call it the Holy Trinity, and the when you go back and you listen to those records, they're really good records. Do you think that the reason they didn't catch on was because of how they sounded, or because of Anything for My Baby, or because of, why don't you think it? Why do you think it? You think it just missed what they were all about? Like people say, I heard a live, I got it. Do you think that they should have done more of a live feel to the first three records?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. That the first three records are missing energy. They don't supply what Kiss really is good at. And if that's all you listen to, you'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. Right? There's something in the production that's missing. Maybe it wasn't available in the mid 70s. I have no idea, since I was only like 5 and some of you guys were -5. But yeah, well, I'm the oldest guy on this thing. Unbelievable. But I think that's why people got it when it was alive, because whether it was actually alive or not, it at least had the energy. And there's an energy behind the music that makes it a little bit faster. And I think it just connected a little bit better. And, some of the stuff that I listen to today that's from like Europe, the productions are just, they could fill arenas. Right? It makes you like pumped up every time you listen to some of this stuff, because you have absolutely no choice. There's no rawness to it. It's polished and it's big. And I think the theatrics of what they were going after has to equate to that. Otherwise, the picture that's on front of the album doesn't really match what's on the album, right?
Yeah, especially Peter's face. But now there is that famous quote where people were saying to them, I got your record, but it really doesn't sound like it's like you sound. It doesn't sound like live is how Kiss is supposed to sound. Like in a concert, I got your record. It really doesn't sound like you. And that's when they decided to put out a live record.
Well, I think it was more so. Alive, Kiss, the first Kiss album came out February '74. When did Alive come out? 75, but what month?
75.
I think it was like November, wasn't
October
it?
or November.
So late 75. So you're still only talking about a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
In between. So I think what happened was, again, this is all hearsay, but what I think happened was Kiss is an experience. It never was a band that you're going to listen to the record only and kind of catch on, or even back then, even if the first album sounded like Alive 1, and they captured that, even if it was like those Eddie Kramer records, whatever it is, I don't think that would have done it. I think Kiss was an experience on the road, in person. And I think it just so happens that Alive came out, I think it took them a year and a half of building up that road fan base and that road buzz. And that's what took them to really hit with the public. And then it just so happens that it capped off with Alive. And that kind of really pushed them over the edge, because at that point, now you already built up this little bit of that road fan base and that buzz. Now you have an experience in your hands that I just saw 6 months ago on the road. Now everyone gets it, because they just saw the experience, or they heard about the experience through the fan base, and now they can experience it with this double live record. I don't think it had anything to do with the quality of the first three records.
Go ahead, Jody.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, what if like Kiss had radio play from the first record all the way through? That'd make a huge difference, right? I think a big problem for Kiss was, they looked at it as like fucking clowns, and like radio wouldn't fuck with them. And like if it did, I don't think it would take an Alive to push them. You know what I mean? Because like if you're on the radio, people are gonna come see you. That's just like the general sheep. They just consume whatever the radio spoon feeds them. You know what I mean? So I think that could have made a big difference.
Andrew?
Oh, I agree that radio support could have helped a bit, but I think it had more to do with this matches what I've heard. Just like, this is the energy, this is what's missing, this is the band that you got to see live. So I feel like it would seem a bit neutered when you hear it on the on the radio. I love those records. Like I love the sound of it, but it's definitely like when you're just initially getting into Kiss and like those fans back in the day, I feel like that's what grabbed them more, is that energy, because we know Alive backwards and forwards. We know all that, but just I feel like if you're just trying to get hooked into it, I feel like maybe those first 3 records didn't do it for a lot of people. Just like there was some sort of disconnect. But then when you see just like, I know it's a stage photo, but when you see that energy on Alive and then you just look at the back and see all those fans there, it just, okay, now I get it. And okay, this is what it's clicking. This is what has been missing. Now I understand this band.
Okay, so let me ask you this though. Do you think that when Kiss put out their first record and they put out their first single, do you think that it was a bad choice going back and considering all the songs on that record? Can you, if you were the record company, I'll start with Sonny, and you were going to release the first single off of that Kiss record, what would you have chosen?
Ooh, Black Diamond.
Jody.
I would have probably went with Strutter. I mean, something with Paul singing. Even though I think Deuce is the best song on the record, I don't think Gene's voice was really ready for the radio. You know what I mean?
Andrew?
I'm going to have to say Black Diamond as well. I feel like that one will grab people the most, and it's the most energetic.
Joey?
I would have probably gone with Strutter too, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think the song choice meant nothing. I think they were looked at as a joke. So I think you could have you could have had the biggest hit, you know, and played the song over and over again. I just don't think that would have got them over. I think they were a band you had to experience live. You had to see these guys in person, feel that energy from the stage, and then I think that's what created that fan base. I have another what if. What if they don't put out Alive? Let's say the fan base is still building and they don't put out Alive and they go straight to Destroyer. I actually think it doesn't matter. I think Destroyer is huge no matter what happens, because I think it was the fan base building at that point. And it just so happens at the end of 74, at 75, that now they're climaxing and everyone knows Kiss from their live show. They're ready to experience this. I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah, maybe not. But what if like Kiss never had the makeup and they had the exact same 3 first records? I think that like Dress to Kill could have been a hit. It's fucking great, dude. And it sounds great and it has energy to me. But I mean, for whatever reason, it didn't connect with people.
It probably would have been on the radio. Oh, sorry, Jody.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say it probably would have been on the radio because they didn't have that prejudice of, oh, yeah, it's the guys with the makeup. I felt like it would have worked in with the – but then having said that, it could also have been as good of a record as that is. Would they just fall by the wayside? Would it just be another 70s band that you've never heard of before, or the majority of people haven't heard
They'd be
before.
like Stars or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, or Angel or –
Yeah.
I've heard of Angel. I was in the same room with them, right, Jody?
Yeah, it was fucking terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
It really was.
Okay, well, we're not going to talk about that. I'll have nightmares. We'll talk.
Save
we'll
it
tell
for
you.
the live show. Save it for the live show.
We'll tell you
There you
about
go.
it. We'll tell you about it, Joey later. Okay, so that's the truth. I think Strutter would have been a great song to release too. I see. To me, that's more energetic. On the but all right. So, but let's talk about the records weren't selling, but their tours were. They were going places and people were selling out. That's why when we talked to Bill Starkey, he's like, people they were wanting to know, why is it that we're selling out this place in bumfuck Egypt. And they were like, well, first of all, Bill Starkey and his friends were building up that Kiss thing, but the Kiss story or Kisstory was really starting to get around about this live show that they did, where you would hear, oh, it's 4 Alice Coopers. At the time, Alice Cooper was the man, but you get 4 Alice Coopers, and now you have this thing. So do you think that people were going, I don't have to buy the record, I'll go see the live show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same thing
I don't
happens
think
today.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because like they were like we were already hearing they were selling out Cobo Hall before they were Kiss, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only reason why Alive sold. It was because, okay, now I can experience what I saw when I saw them, because they were already so popular on the road. They were already such a big hit and a big draw. Think about all the people that saw them from the beginning of mid 73 all the way until Alive 1 was released. All of those people, I would probably say 90% of those people came away from the show going, wow, what the hell did I just experience? What an amazing event. But they never went out and bought the albums. But once Alive came out, they said, oh, we have something that maybe sounds like what we saw, and we can look at the cover. And yes, I remember that. So that's why they bought it, I think, because the fan base was already ready to buy stuff.
Even Bill Starkey said his father took him to see the show, and at the end, when they got home, he looked at his wife and said, you got to see what we just saw.
Right.
You know, you got to see what we just saw.
Right. He didn't say, here, let me put on this record for you. Look, listen to what we just saw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's something to be said about seeing a band live first and then going and buying all their stuff. This happened to me a couple of times now over the last 5 or 6 years. And when I listen to the stuff after I seen them live, I connect with it better because I've got the live visual in my head now, right? But Joey, go back to your other question. If there's no Alive, I don't think you get Ezrin. You still get Destroyer, but I don't think you get Ezrin.
That's a good point.
And you possibly don't get Destroyer in 76 because I think Casablanca at that point has to say, we're going to dump more money into an album.
Yeah,
if they're selling seats, just let them keep touring and forget about the next album, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're right, Sonny. Yep. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Who do you think? So I saw a thing on the interweb about it was like a little thing where somebody was trying to stir up a conversation, and basically it was one of those fight me things, you know. And it was and the comment was Gene Simmons is the only person not replaceable in Kiss.
I don't buy that. You got to have Paul Stanley, dude. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either one of them are really replaceable, to tell you the truth. I think both of them are irreplaceable.
What about Ace Frehley? I mean,
yeah. Listen, if you would have asked the general public that in 1979, they would have said no way. But you also have to think of it as the singer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As big as Angus Young is, yeah, you could put. I mean, maybe not. You don't put someone in the schoolboy outfit like we were saying before, but you can have other guitar players in AC/DC and have Brian Johnson singing the songs, and even you know the singer in AC/DC obviously was replaced. So I think you could do it. I just think Gene and Paul, because they're the songwriters and the singers, you can't really do it without them.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to be hard to replace. If I had to choose one of the two that is more replaceable than the other, I think we would all have to agree that no matter how many tribute bands we've seen more better Genes than we have Paul's.
I agree.
Right?
Well, I feel
Paulie's
almost
the only guy
impossible.
close that sounded like Paul to me. There's not.
Totally.
And Todd Kearns has a little bit of that Paul. I don't know if he put on the makeup if he could do it, but I've seen several Genes.
Yeah. Do you guys think though that Gene could have been replaced in like '83 maybe?
Yeah,
And then we'd have all this rich
Might as well
history
have
with
been.
some other guy, you know?
might as
You
well
want
have been.
Blackie? I know you
Yeah,
still want
Blackie
Blackie
Lawless.
Lawless. Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
All right, so there are four of us in here that play music. Sonny owns a lot of guitars. We're still trying to teach him how to play a G major chord. The
You know, I got 3 kids here that could teach me, and I don't even go to them.
and Andrew, listen, like right now we're still doing the show, but I want to point out: are you noticing the guitars on Sonny's wall behind him?
Holy shit! Yeah, can I come over?
You see the like the clouds there. So he's got like a Prince guitar. And,
I see the Prince
Oh,
guitar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lizzie Hale guitar back there, Sonny.
Yeah.
See that Explorer there too.
Yeah, Sonny.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. So let's go back to the music part. How? All right. Let's take Ace gets credit for his ability.
Yeah.
Peter really never did. Gene really never did. Paul gets more credit for his vocal ability. Do you think that it's fair how underrated they were for their musical ability? Do you think people just got lost in the show and the makeup and the jumps and leaps and the blood and the fire and the rising drum, and they didn't hear what was going on? And I still think Peter Criss was a wonderful drummer. You listen to it live, it's terrific. You listen to Gene's bass lines and those first few albums, they're just like,
Give you chills.
they're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Stanley is a great frontman and rhythm guitar player, and when he plays some leads, they're always good.
Yeah.
Ace is Ace.
He's in your face.
Yeah.
By the way, it's true. His Trouble Walkin' came out on vinyl yesterday for Record Store Day. I want to, if any of you guys out there got it, I'd love to hear or see the pictures. Podcast Rock City 1, that's the number 1 at gmail.com. I know it was like a colored vinyl. So what do you guys think? So Joey, as a guy who has done, you've been on tour with Kiss, you didn't tour with Peter, but he wrote the beginning to your book, right? So,
Yep.
So as far as, you're a bigger Eric Carr fan than Peter?
Well, I'm a bigger Eric Carr fan just because I think of my age. The reason why I play drums is because of Peter. I saw Peter Criss in 1979. That's why I play. But I grew up in my musical career and playing drums more with Eric's era. I grew up in the 80s. So Kiss in the 80s was what I got to experience as it was happening. I remember Lick It Up coming out. I remember every album coming out. So Peter Criss, I only knew from the back catalog. And, Peter, even though I guess you can call him underrated, he's really not, because of the amount of people he's influenced, I think. I think, from guys like Mike Portnoy to Charlie Benante, all these guys play drums because of Peter Criss.
Yeah.
And obviously me too. So, even though I think because he deteriorated over the years, even starting in 1979, he wasn't the 75 Peter anymore. I think that hurt Peter's credibility more than anything. I think if Peter leaves Kiss and he's still playing like the Peter Criss in 1975 and then went on to play more like that 75 Peter, I think we're talking about Peter being just as big an influence in the musical community as Ace.
Now, I want to ask this question to everybody because I'm really interested. But first, you know what I have to do? I have to ask Andrew.
Oh, that's a blast from the past. Holy shit.
So what do you think? Who's you think that Gene Simmons was underrated?
Yeah, he's definitely underrated. You never hear about his bass playing, but that's because he's talking all the time. Like, no one can focus on that. But he doesn't care either. Like, maybe I feel like musicians, like anyone who plays an instrument when they're watching Kiss, I feel like will connect to them in a different way than, it's almost like not a different feeling, but I just feel like as a musician, like they would know that people who play the guitar, they would know that they respect what Ace is doing, or they would respect what Peter's doing, or Gene Paul, and I feel like that must be how Bruce Kulick felt. Like I still think he's a very underrated guitarist, and he's even more underrated considering he didn't wear the makeup and more people aren't talking about him. I feel like musicians, like that part of their life is satisfied that they know that they've influenced other people to pick up the instrument. And I feel like having Joe Public know that they're a great guitarist, I feel like that doesn't matter to them as much as when they got fans coming up to them and saying, I'm where I am today because of you. I play because of you. I feel like to them, that's like, I can't speak for them obviously, but I feel like as someone who plays the guitar, if someone came up to me and said that, I feel like that would fill that part of my life that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like that musicians will know that they're being respected by other musicians. And I feel like, okay, that won't be as important that the entire public or the entire fan base recognizes that I'm a good guitar player.
Right.
Like, yeah. Long
Jody?
story short.
Well, I mean, I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but I mean, I think that their influence is strictly based on the way they look, because neither Ace or Peter, now don't get me wrong, I like what they did. You know, I love Ace, but he's not doing anything that like a 2-year practicing guitar player can't do. The pentatonic shit is super easy. Sounds great, but I mean, it's nothing like to be inspired by as far as like proficiency. You know what I mean? Like, he's not
I
doing
totally
anything.
get that, Jody. Yeah, and I agree. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
I mean,
we
I
might
love
be in
it,
the
but-
minority, and we might get a lot
Yeah.
of the hate mail coming our way. But
Yeah.
Andrew
But as far as
Kiss
the
at
influence, it's strictly
gmail.com.
based on the way he moved and the way he
G-String.com.
kind of did his thing, you know? Because, like, as
It's
far
almost
as
like
his
they were an
chops, he doesn't really have
advertisement.
any.
Yeah, it's almost like they're an advertisement for musicians. Like, I feel like, yeah, like they almost make like put it to the spotlight. Like, they make, okay, I want to play the guitar because I see this guy who's popular playing the guitar, so I can kind of see that too.
Yeah, and he looks
So
so damn
where
cool when he
comes
does
from.
it.
He
You know?
does. Well, especially with smoke coming out of there.
Right.
Well, okay, so well, let me ask you this. I do remember the interview with Steven Adler, and I've said this on the show years ago, where he talked about meeting Slash, and they were in, I guess, grade school. And what did he say? He said, Slash came over to my house, I put on Kiss Alive 2, and I did all my Ace Frehley poses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me
So-
ask you guys this then. Like, suppose Ace plays exactly the way he always did, was never in Kiss. Is he an influence to a generation of guitar players? I don't think
No.
so.
That's a
Well,
Yes,
look at
but-
Dimebag Darrell. Like, when that poses he was doing as a kid, he didn't even learn how to play. But you see pictures of him in full Ace Frehley regalia, just doing those poses and whatnot, and that inspired him to play.
But I think you guys are missing the point. We're not saying are they the best guitar player. We're saying influential. So I think style is the most important thing in anything you do. I think in all aspects of creativity and performing arts and creativity in general, I think style is way more important than being proficient. I think that,
True.
there's plenty of artists out there that do abstract paintings and stuff that can they paint a perfect car? No, but they'll sell $1 million paintings because of their style. And
Yeah.
I think that's the way you almost have to look at Ace and Peter. They're not the most proficient guys. They probably don't read music. They probably don't play everything. But I'm sure all of you guys who are musicians, if you've ever tried to play Kiss or been in a bar that bands are trying to play Kiss, they can never capture a Kiss song correctly. Unless you are really a Kiss fan that can copy the style, Kiss covers always sound like crap. Because it's a swagger. It's a Stones and Beatles and Kiss swagger. It's a certain approach to their playing that makes them to be influential rather than them being the most proficient guy in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also Ace he achieved that dream that all musicians have, or just like Eddie Van Halen, just instantly that's Ace playing. Like something you can be a great shredding guitar player, but those are also a dime a dozen. There's tons of kids practicing 10 hours a day, but they don't sound any different
Right.
than one another. So he
Exactly.
achieved that too. Like, he achieved that mojo. And same thing with Peter. He's got that swing that separates him from a lot of rock drummers. Like
True.
no one has his pizzazz, I guess, for lack of a better word. But
Hey, Andrew,
he's got that mojo. Yep.
how many hours a day do you play guitar?
Well, I work 10 hours, so I try to squeeze 2 or 3 in there.
Sonny, what do you think? As a person that's been listening to music your whole life, as far as Gene's playing, do you ever listen to that and appreciate that, or is it just? I mean, because I play guitar and I play bass and I fake the drums. When you hear when you hear a bass player playing, do you sit back and go, oh man, that's really good bass playing, even with really not being too sure of how it's being done? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll start with Gene. I got comments on all four. I
great.
listen to it more now because my son plays bass, right? So he's
Right.
been playing bass for the last 5-6 years. I hear it more now than I have heard it before. And I've always been an Iron Maiden fan. So the bass has been important to me just because of what Steve Harris kind of brings to what Iron Maiden is. But I'm with you guys. Dude, the mouth, the tongue, and the demon is always going to overshadow anything else that dude does. Until he shuts up, stops sticking his tongue out, and isn't the demon anymore, I don't know if bass playing is going to be in the top 5 of what Gene Simmons is, right? And that's okay. It's just what his persona has become.
Yeah.
I think Paul's got the same problem. I think it's the vocal and his energy on stage is overshadowing the great rhythm guitar player that he is and the great songwriter that he is, honestly, right? Because when I first get into Kiss, I don't know who's writing any of this stuff. I have no clue. And then when you start going and looking back, go, man, Paul came up with some stuff that is unbelievably iconic. But because of the job he does on stage, I think that's a little overshadowed. Ace.
Well, it's hard to see. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Ace, to me, it seems doable. Hell, my brother, who is like, you've never seen him dribble a basketball. Homie is completely uncoordinated. Picked up a guitar and tried to start playing it because he saw Ace playing it. Like, it just makes it seem so doable.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that in itself, just making the kid pick up the guitar because it seems doable is iconic enough. And then you add the persona on it. Ace, that's why I'm an Ace guy. It was, God, you don't exactly have to be like, he doesn't come off as super smart. He doesn't come off as super focused. He doesn't come off as super work ethic. He doesn't come off as super proficient. It's like, you could just be a normal dude and do this. This is pretty cool. And you get to drink and do drugs. That's my guy.
Bonus.
You know?
And what about Peter? Yeah.
Yeah. Peter, to me, I think that 5 or 6 years that he's older than the guys matters. I think if you catch him in his early 20s, maybe he's just as hungry. Now, I'm not saying that, 73, 74, 75, 76, he's not hungry, but he's also, those 5 or 6 years, you get a guy that's in their 22 and you get a guy that's 27. It's a different world a little bit, right? Because you've lived this adult life for possibly 9 or 10 years. And then let's just say like it is. Peter, he prioritized some other stuff. Maybe some of that stuff was a little bit illegal, right? Over trying to be an icon. But got iconic status anyway because, well, he was doing stuff that, again, seems somewhat doable. I'm not saying he's John Bonham. I personally think Eric Carr is a better drummer than he is. I think Eric Singer is a better drummer than he is. But I'm talking about proficiency. I'm not talking about style. I think style has a lot to do with it. But I think he becomes iconic almost by happenstance because he's involved in something that overall is becoming iconic.
Yeah. Andrew, yeah, sorry.
He couldn't sustain it, right? Because the minute he leaves, he can't sustain it.
What were you going to say, Andrew?
Oh, something stupid. I was just going to say that Paul was I think Paul, the shadow that was overshadowing Paul's talent might have been from the forest of his chest hair.
I think it was a laser coming out of the eye.
Oh, that could
that's
have been
what
it too.
Yeah.
I really wish.
But guys, you could ask the same question about the Beatles. If the Beatles come out and they don't have the haircuts and the suits and aren't every girl's dream, nobody cares about the Beatles. They don't influence anyone. When they first came out, they were playing rock and roll. 90% of the songs were cover songs. It was nothing. They weren't the songwriters they became. They were just a rock and roll band that had this look at the time that brought them over the top and created this 4 guys that probably influenced more musicians than the history of musicians. I mean, Ringo's style is perfect for the Beatles. Is he a proficient drummer, technically wise? Of course not. But he's an amazing drummer because his style is so perfect, singable. He's a melodic drummer, and he's impossible to duplicate. That's what makes him an icon. And same thing would go across the board with all 4 of them. That's why they influenced so many people, because they reached that many people because of their look, and then those people got influenced by their music.
I run into Beatles snobs all the time, and I hate them. I'm one of those people where I sit back. Now, here's the thing. I like the Beatles early stuff. I like all the poppy stuff. As a matter of fact, today I was listening to a 1965 concert live show from Atlanta, and it's crazy because like Paul breaks a string and John is like, we'll get back in a second. Paul broke a string, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And you hear them unplugging the guitar. I'm like, damn, they would never let this go on nowadays.
way.
But I remember I have said these exact words. I just don't understand what made the Beatles so popular. I think that if the Rolling Stones would have gotten off the plane first, they would have been the very popular band. And
No, they didn't have the style. They didn't have the just like Kiss had the style. That's why they were more of an influential band than some other 70s band. The Beatles had what hooked the normal public, the girls, before they even heard them. They saw pictures of the Beatles and they went, wow, I want to see them. I want to do something right now with them. And same thing with Kiss.
What was it that you think they wanted to do?
Probably comb their hair, I would guess. And nothing,
Yeah.
nothing bad. Yeah.
The interesting thing about the Beatles is if they continue to tour and don't stop and just do recordings, because I think them stopping touring gave them all of the credit in the world of their songwriting, because everything got focused into basically everything they were releasing, right? But if they're still out there playing in 1975, 77 as the Beatles, do they have sustainability that they had in 64? I got a hard time believing that.
I mean,
I don't know about
Paul
that.
McCartney's still around, dude. He's like
Yeah.
80 years old and still selling
that's
out
true.
arenas.
I get this all the time. I don't really get the Beatles. Well, Joe, if you were a better musician, you would.
Oh, goodness.
Same
Give me
thing-
the Stones anytime. I'll take the Stones.
I'm the
over
same
Beatles
way.
any day.
Same thing with Frank Zappa. I listen to Frank Zappa and I go, I don't really understand what's going on. Well, if you knew music better.
No, you just got to be really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Steve Vai fan.
I'll pass on Zappa.
Oh, yeah,
but
Joe.
the Beatles, again, song-wise, the Beatles are incredible. That's why they beat the
Yeah.
Stones. They have better
Heads
songs.
and shoulders are better than the Stones musically and songwriting wise. I
Not
mean,
even
even like the simplest shit like She Loves You, 10 times better than any Stones song, you know?
Wow. Okay. Hate mail does not come here. All right. So listen, we've been talking for a while now, and I want to save stuff for when we get the live thing going on. I'm going to ask one more question, and it might take a few minutes for us each to answer it. But don't forget, in a couple of weeks, or actually next week, you'll start seeing the link for the live show that we're going to do every week. We'll discuss a time that we can get together on Sunday evening where everybody can do it, and it'll be easy for us. And then you guys can come in and chat with us while we're doing the live show. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Where are they going
And-
to see it, Joe? Where can they see the live show?
Well, we're putting together a YouTube page. It's probably going to be on the Podcast Rock City YouTube page. So go there and subscribe, because that's where it's going to be, because I already sent.
Will it be live streaming on Facebook too?
Yes, we're going to share the link on Facebook and on YouTube. But go and subscribe to the channel right now. So one more thing before we go, I'm going to go through each of you, and I'm going to ask you the same question. And the question is Kiss the greatest American rock and roll band of all time? Sonny Pooney.
Rock and roll band?
Yes.
Yes.
Joey.
I don't think again, this is all opinion. So yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. Your opinion.
Yes. Kiss is the greatest band of all time. Not American, not, Earth, not Mars, nothing. I think Kiss is the greatest band of all time for many reasons. Yes.
All around, better than every band.
Yes.
Wow. Jody.
To me, they're not the best band ever. No, I think the Ramones are the best American band. I think the Beatles are the best English band. I mean, I think Kiss is up there for me.
No,
but
it's opinion. That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
it's okay. It's all right. Best American band of all time, Andrew.
Rock and roll band for American, yeah, I'd say Kiss.
Who's the best Canadian rock and roll band of all time?
Gorguts.
The Who?
A band I never even heard
I
of.
like that. The fast answer too. He knew it.
No way, dude. Chicks dig it.
They do, yeah.
He didn't even. Let me tell you the blasphemy of not saying Rush right off the
Well,
bat.
that's cliche. I might as well be eating a short stack with maple syrup and poutine curds.
Well, you know what
Although
I
I do
think.
love Rush, though.
And you know what I think.
Tim Hortons.
No, what's your answer, Joe? Tell me.
I think the greatest rock and roll band of all time is Kiss.
I agree.
I think that nobody could ever get away with everything that they've gotten away with or done, and only the greatest band in the world could get away with all that. Anyway,
They've been around 50 years and
Yeah.
never stopped.
yeah,
Once. Never
that's
stopped.
pretty
Never
crazy.
took a break. Not even
The
once.
crazy part is, at least for me, is I think they're the best American rock and roll band ever, but none of those four would be my favorite musician in what they do. If
Wow.
that's
Right.
weird, right? Collectively.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So just odd.
Pretty crazy. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, guys. Look, I'm focusing on you guys right now. Thank you. I really appreciate everything that you put up with me every week, all my BS, everything that's going on. I appreciate you guys constantly where I'm going. Every week it's the same thing. Sonny about Wednesday hits me with a thing going, hey, man, what's the topic? And I go,
Oh, no.
and then Jody has just gotten used to just going with it. And Andrew, when he was on the show, Andrew was very, please give me a topic. I want to be thinking about it before
I
we
was
get
hungry,
there.
yeah.
And Joey,
I
you
don't want to
have
look too stupid.
yeah, and
Right.
Joey, you've made a great addition to this. I am
Absolutely.
so thrilled with you being on the show. Now, very important. Hold it up, Joey. Hold it up. Hold it up.
The new book, this is actually a promo copy. I don't have a real copy yet. My new book is on Amazon right now. It's actually the #1 wrestling book in the country right now. It's beating Jericho, Hogan, the Young Bucks, Jim Ross, everyone. It's the #1 book on Amazon. Go on Amazon right now, type in Joey Licious and pick it up. It's a lot of fun.
That is the most
Awesome.
amazing thing ever. This is another one of those things. You see, Joey has drive, and Joey has he knocks down the doors and he does what he wants to do. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in Karen's living room watching an episode of Wrestling with Joey Licious with Sonny and with Joey online. We were watching. You can see that on Amazon too. There's like how many episodes? 5?
There's 5 episodes on streaming on Amazon Prime right now. And
And
Sonny, you'll be glad to know too. Look, even you can get through this one, Sonny.
Oh, yes. You know what? I'll order 3 and put them together so they equal the other one I got over here.
Perfect. Order 3 right now.
And here's something that's important. I really want you guys to watch the TV show and rate it. Because Joey he worked very hard on this, and he's got some of my favorite wrestlers of all time on the show. Here's something that's really cool too. They're not like 25-minute long shows. They're only like less than 10 minutes. It's just little drop-in episodes, and that makes them fun. It's to the point, and they're funny. All I can tell you is this: the scene with him and the Iron Sheik in the bathroom. I'm not going to tell you who else is in the bathroom because that ruins the reveal. But him and the Iron Sheik in the bathroom with the subtitles, I almost peed myself.
And that's what the book is about. The book is basically, because of COVID, production had to stop. There's no one doing anything production-wise. So what I did, me and my partner basically took season 1 scripts and we built it a novel around it. So the novel is really what you would get in season 1 of Joey Licious.
Here's something. I have not done anything in my life. Once you meet Joey and Jody, how many records have you put out now? Like 6 records, 2
Something like that. 2 in the last year.
2 in the last year.
I got one right here for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. There you go. I have that. It's
It's a
right
great
in
cover,
my
Jody. I love it.
Thanks,
yeah. It's
man.
right there in my car.
It's got a
I
centerfold in the middle. You can check out.
I know, and she's pretty
Ooh,
hot too.
ah.
I love those.
Andrew, if you turn it upside down, she gets naked. You got to get the
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
Is he
know,
old enough to see that? Hold on a second.
he does. He here's
See that?
here's the thing. I don't know if Andrew gets that joke. Do you get that joke? Turning it upside down, Andrew?
Oh yeah, like with the pens.
Okay.
yeah.
In the
Oh.
flea markets, I know.
Okay.
He's a full-grown man, Joe.
Yeah.
He
Can't seem like a
is.
little kid anymore.
He is. It's amazing. All right. So, Andrew.
Yeah.
I love you, man. Thank you so
I love
much.
you too, buddy. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
This has been a blast from the past.
We
Totally.
we never stop thinking about you. And
Aw.
and Joey and Jody and Sonny, thank you guys again. I you know, this has been, you know, a love fest, but one thing I have to see before we go. Andrew, will you please ball bag motherfucker me?
Fuck you, Joey. Don't tell me ball bag motherfucker. Don't tell me what to do. Fucking walk all over you. Bullshit.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys.
The
Thank you.
Hopefully the KST boys like that.
Trust
yeah.
me, they know because
I know they know.
we had them on the other day,
I saw.
and I talked about the fact that they were so influential. Every episode, Andrew was doing
Still in their bit.
yeah.
Paraphrasing.
All right, Jody, do you have anything to add?
Nope. Thanks for listening, everybody. Andrew, nice to see you. Joey, Sonny,
It's great to
everybody.
see you, too.
Always a good time. Look forward to
Hollywood!
seeing you next week.
No, good to see everybody. Today marks exactly half the time with Podcast Rock City. I started on episode 151.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
so,
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Joey,
Are we for the live show? Are we voting Sonny out? What's the plan? Are we,
Yeah.
We were voting you out. That's why we didn't tell you about it.
no, you know me.
You
Go buy
son
the
of a
book.
bitch.
Go on Amazon, buy the book. Follow me on social media, Joey Casada. You'll have fun. Sonny, buy 3 copies.
Andrew.
Thank you so much for having me on, and it was really nice meeting Sonny and Joey. And you guys are really cool guys, and it was awesome to geek out about Kiss because I can hardly do that in my normal life. Everyone tells me to shut the fuck up.
When you're,
Yeah.
are you still welding for a living?
I am ironworking right now. I just need to get my tickets, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm still
I am
doing
so
that.
sure
Still
you're
doing my
doing-
apprenticeship.
I'm so sure you're doing that going, I wish somebody would walk over and just ask me what I think about the first Kiss record.
Oh my! Well, I did have a steward who was great, and except he gave me shit. Ryland gave me shit because my favorite's music from The Elder. He's just like, oh, what the hell's wrong with you?
Sonny. It's like, oh.
All right, and I'm just sitting here realizing that Joey is our Gene Simmons. He's got a product, and he is like, here it is, get it.
You learn from the best, dude.
Yeah,
Go to
absolutely.
kissonline.com.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. We love Kiss, and we love Kiss podcasts, and you're going to hear all the commercials for the ones that we love. You know, I say this every week, and here's the truth. I always say that we love most of them, but the truth is we love less than most. And
Yeah.
you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this in 3. That was 3, 2, 1. Peace.
Deuces.